This lesson is for people who are deploying the packages using the package deployment model. In all of the package deployment models, you deploy packages into what is called the SSIS package store. The package store, in some cases, actually physically stores the package, such as the MSDB database option. If you are using file system storage, the package store just keeps a pointer to the top-level directory and enumerates through the packages that are stored underneath that directory. To connect to the package store, the SSIS service must be running. This service is called SQL Server Integration Services. There is only one instance of the service per machine or per set of clustered machines. Although you can run and stop packages programmatically without the SSIS service, the service makes running packages more manageable. For example, if you have the service to run the package, it tracks that the package is executing, and people with proper permissions can interrogate the service and find out which packages are running. Those people in the Windows administration group can stop all the running packages. Otherwise, you can stop only the packages that you have started. The service can also aid in importing and exporting packages into the package store. It can also enable you to create a centralized ETL server to handle the execution of your packages throughout your enterprise. The service is configured through an XML file. First, let's find where that file is. Let's go to the C drive, Program Files, Microsoft SQL Server, 120, DTS, bin, and you can find msdts server.ini, which is an XML file. Double-click on it. There isn't really a lot to configure in this file, but this file has some interesting features. The first configuration line shows how the packages should react if the service is stopped. By default, packages that the service is running will stop if the service stops or fails over. You can reconfigure the package to continue to run until they complete after the service is stopped by changing the Stop Executing Package on Shutdown property to false. And the most important configuration sections, as shown here, specify which paths and servers the service reads from. Whenever the service starts, it reads this file to determine where the packages are stored. In the default file, there is a single entry for a SQL Server that looks like what is shown here. The name line represents how the name will appear in Management Studio for this set of packages. The server name line represents where the connection points to. However, there is a slight problem. If your SQL Server is on a named instance, this file still points to the default non-named instance. So if you do have a named instance, simply replace a period in the server name line with your instance name. The next section that is shown here shows you where your file system packages are stored. The Store Path property shows the folder where all the packages are enumerated from. The default path is shown here. This part of the statement goes one directory below the SSIS service file and then into the packages folder. Everything in the packages folder and subfolders is enumerated. You can create subdirectories under this folder and they immediately show up in Management Studio without you having to modify the services configuration file. And each time you make a change to this file, you must stop and start the service. Now that we have learned a little bit about how to configure the service, let's see how to actually do it. First, let's open the File Explorer, go to C, Program Files, and let's create a new folder, and let's call it Personal Trainer. And now, let's go back to the XML file, copy this, Control C, and paste this. Let's call it File System New, and let's change the store path to the folder that we have just created. C, Program Files, Personal Trainer. Now let's save this file. Click on Save. And let's go and restart the service, SQL Server Integration Services. Let's stop it and start it again. And now let's go to Management Studio and connect to the integration services to confirm the results. Let's go to Management Studio. Let's connect to Integration Services, SQL Operations. Click on Connect. And under the Stored Packages, you see File System New. And that's it. You've configured the SSIS service so that the package store contains 3 folders: File System, MSDB, and File System New. This new folder points to a directory with a few packages in it that belong to your project. So, let's recap what we've learned in this module. We have learned how to create and configure an SSIS catalog, how to deploy packages to the package catalog, and how to configure the package and service. In the next module, you will learn how to secure the SSIS packages, how to run them, and how to schedule them.